Monday, September 15th. I'll call this meeting to order. First item will be the review of the minutes of the regular meeting of August 18th.
The only change I have, just to correct the meeting fully, is, and it was done by error, I didn't pick it up, where it says the meeting was called to order, there was a motion made by Racine, so the wording just has to change to the meeting was opened by Mr. Racine, and the time was open, so that would be a change that was brought to my attention.
Motion to accept with the changes.
Second.
All in favor? Now we need a motion to accept the minutes of August 24th special meeting.
That's also the same change. Which is just Mr. Racine opened the meeting in time.
And I'll make a motion to accept them as with the changes.
Second.
All in favor? Bills, communications, and the warrant, please.
I know I talked about this last month, just as you noticed that there's an extreme amount of money in the checkbook. That's due to the fact that we got some of the money up front for the siding project. So as soon as they bill us for the first payment, you will see that go down quite a bit, but.
That's
right.
the 69,000.
Yes, that was given to us by DHCD previously.
What was check number 7,000 for, Gary?
Gary pays that, we get audited, so we had just finished our audit, so we had to pay him for the audit of $3,780.
Any questions on the warrant? If none, do I get a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Chief, Director's report.
All right. Our first item on the agenda is to talk to the board about a debit card for the Housing Authority. I went to go get a credit card for the Housing Authority, but I have to actually use my personal credit to do it, and I don't think that's right that I have to use my social security number for the credit card for the Housing Authority. So the other thing that was brought up to our attention by the accountant, what we could do is get a debit card for the authority. We probably only use a credit card at most of the places we use on a weekly basis. We have accounts for. I've been using my charge for certain things, and I get paid back for that. But instead of doing that, if we did have a debit card, it would alleviate that. I would have to pay for it, and then the Housing Authority would get it back. If there's a certain place that will not allow us to get tax-free, which we are tax-free, usually some people let us get tax-free, some people don't. If I use my credit card and they charge tax, I'm allowed to get paid everything back but the tax. So if we have a debit card, it would alleviate a lot of the problems. Like I said, probably would just sit in the safe and be used maybe 3 to 4 times a year, if that. I talked to the bank, they gave me a application, but I didn't want to do anything unless I had the board's vote to get that card. It'd be like a credit card, but it would just be directly deducted from our checkbook, and it would only be for emergency things that we have to go. Every once in a while, might need a part that the suppliers don't have, and we have to go somewhere else for, or if we need something from the community center or the office. And that's the only time we ever usually use the credit card.
Can I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to apply for a debit card for incidentals.
Second.
All in favor?
It's a good thing, because we get audited anyway, so anything that would be put on that card
Right,
is subject to audit automatically. Every single thing that's charged will be pulled out. So recently, we've switched over to so many different programs through the authority. We still have QuickBooks, and we still use the PHA network for work orders only. Most housing authorities have switched to the PHA web, which is a computer program, and I know I talked about this before, that's basically just online. So everything, including QuickBooks, all of the money, any tenant information, research, anything that happens will go to the PHA web. It's the same price monthly, but it's a $2,500 charge to start it up. Honestly, I think it's great. All the housing authorities are using it. It's going to give tenants options whether they want to pay on. They can actually go onto the PHA web themselves. They can sign into their own rent accounts. They can pay rent online, so they don't have to come in with a check. If their families are handling their accounts, the families will be able to go and pay their rent for them online. It's a great program. Most housing authorities have it. But it is $2,500 because they have to come in and switch over all of our programs, which they do. They switch over our QuickBooks into their service and all of our tenants' files into their service, and then they also train us. What's also great about it is it includes Mike's maintenance, which we were able to get a tablet, an iPod tablet. So now when he does any maintenance work, he can take the tablet to the apartment with him, take pictures, jot everything down, everything stays in a file on that PHA network. So it kind of keeps everything intact, and if anything happens again like COVID, the three of us, Nancy, Mike, and myself, we could actually work from home through this PHA network and just log on and all be together through one system. So I asked the board if they would consider that because I think it's going to be great all around.
Where would the 2,500 come from?
It would come from the budget. I talked to the accountant. She said we do have the money in the budget to do it. And she's been trying to talk me into doing it for like over a year now, but with all of our new systems with the DHCD and all the new programs that we have, this PHA network, our PHA web fits in with all their programs. So everything kind of will be together. So it'll be easier for us to, office-wise, maintenance-wise, to keep everything on one program.
A motion?
Sounds all right to me, doesn't it?
Yeah, sure.
Motion to switch over the system and for the $2,500 start.
Second?
All in favor?
The other thing that's nice about it too is now that I have somebody new in the office, we can all be trained from start to finish, so we'll all be on the same page about everything. So that's what I'm really excited about also. The next item on the agenda is vote on some change orders for the vinyl siding project. They're all actually pretty good. We felt here as workers, I think the tenants can speak to that they do an excellent job. They're here, they came in Saturday, they worked till almost 6 o'clock Saturday night. They're just moving right along, and Mike's very happy with their work. Mike's checking it on every couple hours he's going up there and making sure there's been some stuff, and if Mike notices right away, Mike makes him take it apart and redo it. But for the most part, we really think they're doing a great job. The engineer was here this morning, he felt the same way, so they're just moving right along, with the exceptions of 2 change orders. One, we already voted for, but we have the exact dollar amount, so I just needed a board vote. And the first change order is the fact that they changed the vinyl siding from the shingles to clapboard, and that was able to vinyl side the community center, which was not going to be vinyl sided. It also allowed for all new shutters on the building. The only exception is we did ask for the panel shutters. That may be a difference in price between $1,000 and $2,000. Department of Housing won't pay for that, but I was going to bring that to the next meeting. They're in the process right now of getting the prices of how much additional the panel shutters will be. So that being said, I just need a vote to go ahead and accept the change order to change the vinyl siding, which they already did it because you did vote on it previously, but now we just have the correct amount, and I just want it for the record. So the difference was $6,003.84. And that was getting the extra building done and all new shutters. So it was a little bit more, but DHCD said since we're getting the community center done, that they were on board to go ahead and for the $6,000 to pay for the change order. So it's actually coming from formula funding, and they did accept it. So we just need the board to go ahead and meet the exception.
Motion to approve the exception.
Second.
Exception.
All in favor? Passes.
I think Mike was telling me that they made some other changes and they're doing some aluminum versus the PVC. Maybe we can try to get them to kick in $1,000 for the shutters with that, because that PVC's a...
Well, there is another problem, and that actually is number 2. Which you're right, it was a big saving in what they did. So I'm just going to go ahead and say what the change order is, and I'm going to let Mike explain it because it's a little hard for me to understand. So change order number 2 is the Acushnet Housing Authority change order request for rake boards, gutters, and rain barrier. That being said, Mike, I'll explain to the board what that change is.
But the original bid, they had a rain barrier behind the vinyl siding, which I have no idea why that was there. So they took that off, the cost of it off, and vinyl siding just goes right over the tieback, and it's good. I don't know what that was there for. On the rake boards, to put the PVC on, they were supposed to be a PVC trim, but what was happening was ruining the drip edge on all of the rakes. So rather than trying to replace the drip edge, because you'd have to go under the shingles, lift all the shingles up and possibly crack them or break them or whatever, we decided to go and cover them with aluminum stock. So the first building's done with just on the rakes is the aluminum, and that's what came into effect with the gutters. Is that?
Yeah, so
So that were the 2 changes that we took off.
but what happened was it caused them, when they were taking the gutters off,
Yeah, the
they
drip
couldn't
edge,
save
yes.
the gutters.
Well, that's the other thing, yeah. The original bid was leaving the gutters, taking them off, put PVC trim under them and put them on. And I didn't understand, I knew from experience that wasn't gonna happen without ruining the gutters. So once they started doing it, they said, the gutters are getting ruined. So they're giving the price difference, what is with the PVC trim and the coil covered for most of the gutter stock, that are brand new gutters on all the buildings being done.
So if you look at the pricing on the second page and it goes on to the back, they gave us, we have to take off all the gutters, so we need all new gutters on the buildings. So with the credit of the PVC trim,
And the rain barrier.
it was almost like a $17,000 credit. I don't know if you follow the prices all along. So to give us the credit on everything Mike just explained and add all new gutters on all of the building, the difference was $1,777.84. So basically with that change, it allowed us to get all new gutters and downspouts.
Downspouts were included anyway in the original price.
Okay, so it's just the gutters.
Just the gutters.
All the new gutters for $1,777.84. With the change order that was brought up today, which it's going to be in this change order, they asked if the board would accept it because the pricing is already here. When they took down the gutters, all these gutters had
Leaf guard.
leaf guard. I get mixed up with the rain guard and the leaf guard.
Leaf guard.
All these gutters had leaf guards in them. So in order to put the leaf guard back, it would be $7,007.76.
That's new.
That's all brand new.
Brand new leaf guard, because once again, it was in there riveted, and it's, to take it out, you're gonna pop it in.
I get all this is more, but they bid on it. It's in the bid to take them gutters down and put them back up.
The original ones.
Yeah.
Right.
But we're getting all new gutters instead.
Brand new ones.
I understand, but it's easier for them.
The price they get.
If they're gonna take it down and they damage it, they gotta replace it with a new one. It's in their bid to take it down and put it back.
Yeah.
So, it's hard for us to do it, so we'll just charge you more to get new ones?
The gutters were, and you know more than I do, but the gutters were from 1970 and a lot of them were.
They probably should have
They were
been
messed.
replaced.
They should have been replaced at the beginning.
They should have had the original.
Yeah.
What I'm arguing with is the fact that the engineer goes up there with all the money that he got to do this design,
Exactly.
said that they could come down and go back up. That's foolish.
I agree with you 100% on that.
So
told them what they wanted.
they had a ton of money in their bid because it's hard to take them down and put them up.
Right.
It isn't much more than, I'll tell you right off the bat, in experience, I'll always put up new ones versus take them down and put them back. The cost of the aluminum is nothing, it's the labor involved to do it all. So when they come back and say it's more, it's not more.
Right.
You know, I get it, that's how they make their money, but it's, at some point, I think there should be some negotiation and somebody out there saying, listen guys, come on, you know?
Yes, like we
You-
could have saved $12,000
We
originally.
understand how it works here, but every time we're giving you something, let's give something back. You know, let's, you know, we got the $1,000 for the shutters they're gonna want next, they got this, they want, it's, you know, they're making plenty of money on the job, yeah, do a nice job, yeah, tell us, you know, you're gonna need new gutters and put them because it's the right thing to do. But you can't turn around and say, we're gonna pay for new gutters and to put them up, because they already had to take them down and put them up. Now they can just rip them off in 10 minutes, throw them in the garbage, cash in the aluminum, which is worth plenty of money, and all they gotta do is run some new ones out of the truck and go screw them up there. It's a lot easier for them, a lot. So, you know, I don't know if Mike's the guy, if we need to go out there with the board and talk to the guy, but every time they turn around and say, we want more, we gotta say, okay, but give us something.
Yeah,
You know, I don't mind the change orders, I don't mind doing the job the right way, but not, oh, let's do the job the right way and add 10 grand, and add 20 grand, and add, you know,
Yeah.
there's gotta be some give and take on the projects. I hate to sound that way, like, it's my own house, but, you know, you're asking me to just spend taxpayer money.
That's why we're here.
Yeah.
Mike and I feel the same way, but,
I get the fact that it's different because, you know, it is a government agency and it does have to go to bid and we do have to do it. We can certainly just say, you know what? If that's the way you want to play it, put all them gutters back up, and if you ruin them, you can pay for them. You know, and then they look at you and say, well, okay, well, you know, yeah, we'll give you the shutters or we'll give you something, because they know they're wrong.
no,
Or
and
they
I agree
gouge
with
it.
you 100%. We did have a meeting with the architect last
Right.
week in Department of Housing, and all of us were outside, and the architect agreed that the gutters did have to come down and new ones had to be put up. That's when DHCD turned around and said, okay, we will make the exception, we will pay for it through formula funding, and they also are gonna pay for the rain guard with that in mind, that the rain guard was on the original gutters, so they need to be put back on the new gutters. So it's not coming out of our budget costs, it's coming out of our formula funding. If they don't pay for it, we're not gonna get it back.
I understand, but you gotta understand, even though it might not be our budget or our money, it's still taxpayers' dollars, it's still money that we pay, it's still money that somebody's getting over and above what they already bid to do a job that they should have been right enough to say right from the get-go. Both the engineer and the same with I get it, you don't wanna rip up the roof because now you're gonna compromise it and you can't fix the drip edge without ripping up the roof, that's the way it is. But when you look at that job and you say, I'm gonna take that wood off and I'm gonna put PVC up there, you know what's gonna be done. It's that simple. There's no way it comes off nice and easy. All the nails are up behind there, you know, you either loosen them and you cut them and you grind them or you cut it. It's a project and they put in the money for it. Now they say, oh, well, it's easier to just put the aluminum. No kidding it is. They could have said that from the get-go. They could have bid that from the get-go. The engineer should have been smart enough to know that was the way to go.
Good.
Yeah, I have no comment right now on it.
Well, and you're the engineer, you know.
I know where you are, and I've been there, I've been through all that with them already. and-
Yeah, and we feel the same way, the
It
engineer
doesn't-
should have saved us the $15,000 right from the beginning with
Yeah.
the rain guard and everything else, so we feel the same
Like,
way as
when
you.
he came out and
You already talked to him and told him that that's gonna have to be done.
I told him I told him what I wanted, and he was like looking at me, we can do that? I said, yeah, you know, I'm gonna.
And a lot of it
Yeah,
isn't even the
myself,
engineer, a lot of it was Department of Housing saying, no, if you can save them, save them. But now when they realize Department of Housing came out, and they're like, well, you can't save them, then, okay, we'll pay for new ones. So, and we had the same problem in the last meeting with the electrician, and that's why it's so frustrating for us, because
We
you guys
know
in
it's
construction
wrong, we know
know
how
what
to
things
fix it, but
cost.
Well-
it's just,
It is frustrating,
It's very
but I want this job done right, and I want it to last, so if we've got to approve it, that department
We'll
house
bring that.
knows it's there ever, and they're gonna pay for it, I guess we don't have a choice. It's gotta be done.
It's gotta be done, yeah?
Can we make
Bring that back.
a, motion to,
Revisit it. Maybe.
well, revisit it or
No,
negotiate
because
with them?
they're moving right along, so they're gonna stop
They
putting the
gotta do
gutters
it the way
on.
that the contract
With the-
says, or they gotta do it the new way. They gotta keep
With the
it.
winter coming, you don't want the water coming off the building, it freezing, it's kind of slipping and falling, because then that's gonna be a whole other thing happening
But
here.
there's one thing here, gutter disposal, $1,000.
You gotta continue it.
They put that, every bid has disposal cost in there.
But if it's gutter disposal, you know what I say? Leave the gutters here.
Yeah.
Me
I'll say-
personally,
we'll-
I'll
we'll
take
work on that
it,
already.
cash it in, give the money to the housing authority.
Yeah,
We
well, I know,
gotta, we
but
gotta drop.
every bid that comes through, even this job here, there's always an amount for disposal in it, no matter what it is.
I understand, but they're gonna get paid for the gutters.
No, I know, but they have to put it in, because if it's not in there, then you can come back and say, you know, well, then we never charge them to get rid of it, and that could be for the shingles. So everything's in there, and I know the aluminum deal is money, but they have to put that in there, and
That would be my question.
Yeah.
You know, that would be the deal breaker for me to vote on this, is $1,000 shouldn't be there.
When it's all on the ground, and we put it in Mike's truck, you can get $1,000.
Well, I don't know about $1,000, but at least we get something
Yeah.
back to the housing authority.
There's a lot of gutter up there.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's a couple $100 when you do a house, so there's probably $1,000 in aluminum up there. But, as I've already said, if the Department of Housing and these guys all, it's the way they do business, I don't know how we can change it. We gotta finish the project. Motion to approve the change.
You a second?
Yeah, second.
All in favor?
Frustrating.
I'm with you.
it's very frustrating. I know what it's about. It's like, it's.
No more frustrated me, the electrical project's not done, and I have an alarm going off in my office that is so loud that it won't be done until he gets back here, so. I feel your frustration. Alright, on that note. Alright, our apartment status is, right now, we actually, all of the apartments are full. We do have one that may be coming up next month. We're not 100% positive yet, but right now, all of our apartments are occupied. And that's all I have for,
Good for you?
yeah.
Motion to accept the director's report.
Second.
All in favor? Maintenance report?
Just normal maintenance. I've been working with, checking on the siding project, and we had a gas valve let go on one of the boilers the other weekend. We got that fixed, and I got extra parts now in case that happens again. Otherwise, that just normal maintenance. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of going on in here, so.
What was that digging I saw you do out there?
Oh, I did the footings for the gazebo on the other
Got points for that?
on the side. Yeah, I know. That project's starting too. I got the materials here, so we'll be ready to roll next week on it. This week too, so it should be good. That's it.
Gonna get a roof on it for the snowfalls?
Before October 18th, yes.
There you go.
Motion to accept the maintenance report?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All in favor? Motion passes. Lieutenant comments?
Yes, I think they're doing a fantastic job. They're cleaning up the messes, they're watching for people to give them room to walk by and everything. I think they're doing a great job.
Good to hear.
Did you hear her? You got it. Now you're on camera.
Like,
Silent.
That's it?
That's it?
Thank you. Can I have a date for the next meeting?
Oh, I'm sorry. I did not do that right now. If you give me a minute, I'm gonna go look at the calendar. My secretary's sick today. Our next next meeting will be October 20th, unless we need another change order to go through, but Wednesday, October 20th.
Same time?
Yep.
Okay, Jen. Is there any more business?
That's
Do I
it.
have a motion to adjourn, please?
Motion to adjourn.
Second,
All in favor? We are now adjourned.